back to Stream It. This is, like we said, there's going to be themed episodes from now on. So this is the flu episode.
Yes.
Michael Jordan had his flu game, and we have this flu episode.
What do you watch when you're homesick all day? What are you binging?
That's right.
So we're going to each share our different shows that we like to binge after we talk about Russian Doll, which is the show we all started together. We watched the first episode 2 weeks ago, and then he actually got the first.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I got a first-hand account.
Yeah.
That's how committed we are to this show.
Yeah. Should we just jump right into Russian Doll?
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
All right. It went by fast. I didn't realize how short the episode would feel. I knew it was going to be 25 minutes, but by the time it ended, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Half-hour shows on streaming services, you're like, wow, this is quick.
It's dangerous.
Yeah.
Because I could have just let it play.
Yeah. It definitely left me wanting more.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. What?
I thought it was cool that you're kind of just thrown into it. What you see in the trailer, there's no setup to before the stuff starts happening. You're just thrown into the night.
Right.
And you don't really know anything about her or anyone yet.
Right.
You're just kind of this stuff is happening. And you'll probably find out later, but all you really need to know right now is she keeps dying and it's her birthday.
Yeah. And
that's it.
It almost seems like the beginning part of the trailer was just the first scene. It was pretty much the same thing.
No major giveaways there.
No.
It kind of had that Groundhog Day, I think.
You know what? One thing I noticed was, Groundhog Day, that whole, he wakes up, everyone's kind of doing the same thing, right? But in this, she starts asking her friends, what's going on? She smokes that cigarette. We'll call it a cigarette. And then she's like, what is in this? And they tell her, and the character's trying to stay along the same thing. She says a couple of the same things, but then she meets the guy the very first time, but then doesn't. She's has no interest in him.
Yeah.
It
She
kind of
chooses a different path.
Right. It's like a open world game where you can choose your own path going through it. It was kind of cool how it's the same day, but she changes how things happen.
Makes you think about how many alternate pathways there are to our lives. Every decision you make, there's another one.
Here it goes, getting deep again.
Well, no, I'm just saying that's what she was doing. She was like,
Yeah.
Settle in. No, it's true. It's true.
and I think she'll probably continue to kind of keep testing. She's trying to figure it out, right? What's happening and how to stop it or move on from it or whatever. It's kind of a crazy, even though that's something we've heard before, this Groundhog Day or reliving the same moment. I'm very curious to see how she handles it, or you know what I mean, or where they go. If they're starting the season with they're right into it. There's no, you know what I mean? And now, where are we going to go from here? Is it just going to be the same night over and over the entire season, or where do we go? I'm very curious to see where they take it.
Did you guys notice when she gets, I think it's the last time she dies in the first episode, she has the cat and she's sitting on the railing of the ocean, and the cat disappears.
Disappeared, yeah, that was weird.
So I'm wondering if even if she doesn't die, if everything resets.
Oh, interesting.
And then eventually she dies, because the cat disappeared.
Yeah, I thought that was strange.
I didn't know if maybe she was
Hallucinating the cat.
Yeah, imagining that she had the cat. Because there seems to be some.
I like the resetting, but also both those things are totally possible here.
Yeah, there's definitely some mental, she thinks she's going crazy type thing.
Yeah, after the third time she resets.
Yeah.
And then there's something, obviously, the homeless guy that she keeps thinking she knows is around every time she dies.
Yeah.
And at the very end, of the episode when she doesn't go engage with that guy, right? She walks away from him.
so.
I think it's like 2 weeks now. It's tough to
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah, I don't think she does.
Yeah, and then the episode ends and she's still alive.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's, so yeah, the cat plays a big role, and so
Yeah.
does that homeless guy, but we don't know quite what yet.
Right.
And it's also interesting. She dies a different way every time.
Yeah.
Like,
The car.
I jumped when the car hit her. I was like, I know she's gonna die soon, but I still jumped.
Yeah, what was it? She got hit by the car. Did she fall off the bridge and drown?
Yep. Did she fall into like a manhole pit?
That was in the trailer.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's.
Well, did she only die twice?
I feel like she died 3 times. She got saved from falling down the stairs, right?
Yeah. And someone saved her from the car the second time.
Mm-hmm. I
Maybe it
forget
was
now.
just twice. Did you guys ever hear the movie Happy Death Day?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
It's like basically the same thing, except someone kills her every day that she comes back. And whenever she avoids like the way that she sees coming, like he'll just kill her a different way. So it's the same premise, but like
Dang.
she'll like make it really far into the day sometimes, and then like he'll be like in her closet.
Ugh.
Like it's just always that kind of thing. But yeah, I think I'm very interested.
Yeah.
And it's definitely really funny. Like she's like a wild character.
Yeah. Yeah. It was very funny, like the party scene with having the like projector set up. I want to show you these images. Or no, they basically put on like an old Windows screensaver or something while they're all like high and listening to music and stuff. So I've never really spent time there, but it seems like so New Yorky. Like like the apartment, and it's
Yeah.
we're all so cool and hip and all that, and like the guy that she meets up with at the beginning, like he's so philosophical in everything he's saying, and he's like wearing a t-shirt with a sport coat, and it's like, I wouldn't be able to stand this guy.
In the bathroom is where the girl who owns it like practices her like art pieces.
Yeah.
Like the doorknob was
Yeah.
a gun.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot going on in
Yeah.
her life there. It was cool how they kind of showed the characters throughout this with the best friend or whatever, and then I think we met an ex.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And does she have a kid? No. Maybe no kid.
He might have.
The first guy that she meets
Has a son.
has a son, and then like the
Oh,
second
yeah.
night she like beats him to it, and it's like, you have a son.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, we meet the ex, and she like explains it to him, and he thinks. Does he talk about her having mental illness in the past or being on medication?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's why he doesn't really take her seriously.
Right.
So they're slowly unpacking some of the relationships in her life and some of her past, and yeah, it's definitely a good jumping off point.
And we were introduced to the guy in the trailer that says that he has the same thing happening to him.
Didn't you get the news? We're about to die.
It doesn't matter, I die all the time.
He's in the convenience store.
Oh.
He's the one who like walks in with another guy, and he like looks like he's gonna like throw up and fall over.
Right.
But he's having a rough night.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
That's
good.
him.
That's a great
Yeah.
catch.
And then he's like gone when she looks back over.
Oh yeah.
Disappears.
Huh. Well. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Still a lot to figure out, I guess.
Yeah, so like we kind of talked about yesterday, I think it was, maybe we could have gone 2 episodes because
I know.
I've been sitting on it like you guys have for 2 weeks now, and it's
Yeah.
like,
Well, maybe this time we'll do 2.
Yeah.
yeah, we can talk about it in a post-production meeting.
Yeah. Well, I want our viewers to know, because if they're
Oh.
watching along with us,
Right, of
That's
course.
true.
which I'm sure most of them will.
Yes. Our legions of fans.
Yeah, so we can do 2.
Yeah.
Let's do 2.
Pretty cool. So now, flu segment. What are we watching when we're sick?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a big question.
Yeah.
I mean, you usually have to get up, go to work. You're maybe getting in like an hour or 2 of your streaming later on in the day. But now you've just opened up 4, 5, 6 hours of.
That's a low number. If you're really sick,
Yeah, I mean it's an 8-hour day.
you didn't come in for two and
Well,
a half
you gotta
days.
account for some sleeping.
True.
You know, like if you're starting to nod off, like I'm gonna.
Well, I think-
I'm gonna pause and take my nap and
Now
then wake
here's
up
the
and
thing.
continue.
I looked at this exercise as a show I don't mind nodding off to.
Well, that's part of it,
Yeah.
but I mean, I still want to know. Like I watch it for a reason, you know. It's not the end of the world if you nod off. I would say
Right.
you don't want like a thriller when you're sleeping or when
Right.
you're like sick, but just something to have on, kind of in the background, but you're also kind of paying attention. So I'll give you one,
Okay.
and it's the one that I chose when last week I was feeling under the weather. Got up, had some breakfast, small breakfast, and then right back to bed / the couch, and I put on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which I know you guys have been talking about it around
Yeah.
the office. It's been on my list for a while, but actually ended up being a great flu show.
Yeah.
Every episode there is some like carryover as far as like plot and
Mm-hmm.
everything, but it's kind of a different. They're attacking something new every episode.
This
so-
week's adventure.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's a lot of like little jokes throughout the entire episode that keep it light and funny. So it was a perfect kind of. You don't have to really pay attention too much, but it's going to keep it light and entertaining. So there was a couple times I just paused it and just left it on there for a minute while I rested,
Right.
and then.
So that's interesting because this is your first view.
Yeah, so I actually didn't want to miss any of it.
Right. So that makes sense, the pausing and
Yeah. When I felt like I needed to just like catch up on some sleep, I paused and then continued after. But yeah, it's right up in that. I think it's the same creator, right? Mm-hmm. Same creator as
Michael
Office and Parks and Rec and The Good Place, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was right up that alley as far as the humor, and I thought it, it's for my sense of humor, it was like one of the best versions of his style of show. Just Andy Samberg and some of like the puns and the different stuff that they did. So yeah, it was Brooklyn Nine-Nine's a good easy watching show.
I completely agree.
Perfect. So put that one on your list.
One, I got one here that's kind of a timeless classic,
Love it.
Seinfeld. If I am sick, I will put that on because I've seen it so much. It was a show that it was my parents' favorite show when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I've seen every episode so much that it's like completely mindless to me.
Oh yeah.
Scroll my phone, whatever.
Yeah.
Fall asleep, wake up, and it's like, oh, it's this episode. Know the episodes by heart.
Yeah.
So that's one that I just absolutely, if I'm sick, I don't need to think about it or anything.
That's good.
I'm really excited because I've only seen like one episode of Seinfeld,
Oh, really?
and I know it's all on like Hulu or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to like start watching that, and now
Oh,
I have
yeah.
that whole show to watch.
I saw it just turned, last year it turned 30, which is crazy.
God.
Whoa.
That was like the first episode. And I saw someone say, I hate to admit it, but some of these Seinfeld episodes seem like they're 30 years old, and they do. I mean, it's like
Right.
very 90s,
Yeah.
but it's still hysterical. Larry David has just continued it with Curb Your Enthusiasm,
Right.
just on HBO. It's the same thing.
I'm gonna be really basic. The Office.
I actually crossed The Office out on my list because I felt like it would show up.
Yeah.
It's
But it is a good one.
yeah. It's like even when I'm not sick, it's the one that's always on because I
Yeah.
just you don't have to pay attention to it. But then when I am sick, it's sometimes nice to just like put on something funny that I know
Yeah.
what's gonna happen.
Right.
And if I fall asleep, who cares? So yeah, I feel like it's just like a comfort show
Yeah.
in general.
We need
like
that.
yeah, it's just perfect for everything. Yeah, that's my top one.
I like that.
I still laugh at the same jokes and gags and episodes I've seen like 10 times. It
Yeah.
still makes me laugh.
And sometimes you notice new things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On your like fifth rewatch, and you're like, I never saw that before.
I love when that happens.
Like there's very quick example in the carpet episode where there's like a mess in Michael's office and he's like sitting in his office while it's still there, like doing like, oh, this is my Survivor audition tape.
Yeah.
When he like leaves because he can't handle it and the camera zooms out, you can see that like not even the camera person was in the office with him.
Oh.
They were like filming from across the whole building because they didn't want to go in with him.
That's so funny.
I think we've kind of got a theme of that easy watching, and the comedies also are nice and lighthearted. But another one for me would be Family Guy, and that's just like a random any episode.
It doesn't matter.
Put it on shuffle, like it doesn't matter, because those are all just like so funny and
Yeah.
It's just a great show all around. There's a million of them. Like they're still making new seasons. It was timeless jokes, I think. Some of them are
Yeah.
like current, like pop culture stuff, but it's always funny. So
I just said one when I sat down.
yeah, right, exactly.
Um,
That's a popular one, I'd say.
Yeah, pretty much any season one's a tough hang, just because they had like no money and stuff,
Oh,
but from season 2 on, it's just a classic.
yeah,
Even like bad episodes, they're still really funny, like cutaways.
right, yeah.
Is it still going?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Wow.
It's actually funny to watch. It'd be interesting to watch like an episode from season 2, 3, just one, and just see the progression of the animation.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I've seen like sparingly some of the newer ones, and it's like this is a completely different show. This is like full HD, like
Yeah.
so nice.
It is good.
I'm gonna stick with kind of the timeless classic. This is a more recent classic in Parks and Rec.
Oh,
That's one
I
that,
almost put that on my
yeah, it's just, I don't know. There's not, we talked about this all in season 1. It's just so easy. Every episode's funny. I mean, there's times where it's like sad or like a
Yeah.
feel good story or whatever, but not so much sad, but like feel good. But
yeah.
it is just constant jokes, no matter who it is, no matter what, and it's just so easy to watch, fall asleep to. Plus, I've seen it probably 2 times all the way through now, so watching it again is just like,
Yeah, it makes sense.
There needs to be more shows with everyone from that cast in it. Like more. Where's Amy Poehler been?
Yeah.
I know, yeah, just like creating all these shows.
Yeah.
Come
Not
back.
the same.
Yeah.
She makes that like DIY wood making.
Yeah, with
Nick
Nick
Offerman.
Offerman. Yeah.
I'm sure it's funny. Maybe I'll
probably.
watch
That's
it.
that's probably just the, well, we're getting royalties from
Yeah.
Parks and
Yeah.
Rec for the rest of our life. Let's just do what we want now.
'Cause I was having trouble thinking of more than one show, so I like made little categories for myself. So Office was my all-time, and then a show that I watch only by myself that I can't watch when like my whole family's home. Breaking Bad. The only time I can actually watch this show is when no one else is around.
Yeah.
So last time I think I felt sick like 2 weeks ago, so I got through like a big chunk of one
nice.
season.
Nice.
But then sometimes it's heavy, but
Right.
It is heavy.
yeah, it's so easy to like fly through it though,
Yeah.
because there's
Yeah.
always so much happening that
I think that's a good point. I think people have their like kind of personal shows that maybe you don't watch with like your family or whatever, and those when you're sick are great because you can make cover a lot of ground
yeah.
really fast. I was kind of gonna say a similar thing for my last one where it's like, not to cut you off, but like almost like an old or something that's current that you just have been like waiting to see. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I'll try something like new, but not nothing crazy, but just like, oh, I was wondering about this show.
Right.
I'm gonna put it on for a little bit. That
It's like a
kind of
trial
thing.
day when you're
Yeah,
sick.
exactly, exactly. So yeah, I'll keep on that then.
Did you just point to a non-existent camera? Like,
Yeah,
There's
you
someone
know,
in the corner.
which one's on? Yeah, sometimes I'll try a new show, or same thing like a movie. I'll throw something I've been like wanting to see that's come out on it's streamable or you're gonna rent it or whatever. just to like, you were curious about it, but you don't really have time. Like when you sit down with your family, you want to watch like, oh, this blockbuster movie we've been dying to see. We finally have time to watch it. Like that's what we're gonna watch. So sometimes it's hard to find time for those. Like, I wanted to check this out and haven't had time. Or like an old one that you like. We were talking about Wes Anderson movies
Right.
yesterday, and like Life Aquatic or something
Yeah.
like that I hadn't seen yet. It's a good day to like be like, oh, let me go check out that old movie that would be worth checking out. So,
I find myself doing that with documentaries. It's like, this isn't going to be a crowd pleaser, but I've heard it's really good and I want to see it, so I'll watch it now.
exactly. Yeah. So, I guess my last one would be like, just trying stuff.
Oh,
Trying
Interesting.
different things when you're.
little
when you're
zag
sick.
there.
Yeah.
Because the worst is when like you recommend something and then like other people watch with you, and if they don't like it, they like put it on you, and it's like I didn't know. I
Yeah.
just wanted to see it.
Yeah. That's the worst. Or they're just like
I didn't know.
halfway through the second episode, you're like, oh, interesting. Okay. Like, you know, a show is like still building up in the first two episodes. You're not going to get a Watchmen every time, where the
Exactly.
first episode, you're like, I'm in. But second episode, introducing characters, developing all this stuff, and they're like, I'm just not into it. And you're like,
Yeah.
can we get through 2 hours of it?
Yeah. Sometimes the opposite happens though. Like you are trying something out and you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah.
I gotta wait a minute. I gotta get everybody
Yeah.
in on
It's like, hold on, you catch up.
yeah.
I'll pause.
I'll finish this one, but then.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's good. It's always good to have one that you're excited about and like on the docket. Even so, you can either keep watching it or bring other people in. Better than not.
Right,
Better
totally.
than a show
yeah.
hole.
Yeah, that's your biggest fear.
Yeah.
See, I kind of just stuck with the same theme I'd been going through, and my next one was Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh.
I picked three that if I'm sick and don't feel good, I know will like make me laugh.
Yeah.
I don't need. There's no story,
Right.
and I can just like drift in and out of it. That's how I view being sick. That's what I want.
Yeah.
If I'm like day 2, like you were out
Day
2 days,
Yeah.
feeling a little better, maybe I'll be like, all right, I'll watch a
You
movie.
don't want to get everybody at the office sick. So
Yeah.
You're gonna stay.
Exactly.
So you watch The Office.
You know, that's when I'm like, all right, a little more energy, can kind of focus a little better,
Yeah.
maybe watch a movie or something. But I actually have 2 more written down here, The Office, and then a new one for me has been Letterkenny on Hulu.
Yeah.
I've heard about that show.
And but they're all the same. They're just like, there could be a plot that stays, but if not, it's just episode to episode. Jokes get called back.
Yeah.
Just give me that. If I'm sick, that's all I want.
Yeah.
All right, my last one I didn't want to put on here because it's awful, but it's the truth. It's what I've been watching the past
Honestly.
like 3 weeks. It's a reality show, but it's Catfish.
Oh
on
yeah.
MTV.
Oh yeah.
It's just so ridiculous, but it really grabs you. Like, it's crazy. Because it's 2020, but people are still,
Getting catfish.
yeah, they're still getting catfished. And it's like crazy, like, it gets so extreme. And like,
I have seen that. It's interesting because you're just like,
it's, yeah.
how did you? Okay, you didn't see that sign, this red flag, or like that. You didn't notice any of that.
And sometimes the catfish is someone's like relative.
Yeah.
It'll be like someone's cousin or like the best
Gotcha.
friend who was like, you seemed sad, so I started this profile to talk to you, and they'll be like, yeah, but it's been 8 years, and you're like, you got me there.
I was having fun with it.
So yeah, that's like my guilty pleasure one.
Have you? I'm sure you have, but I've seen like 1 or 2 where it's like this awkward meeting, and then it's like, well, could I have like a hug or something? It's like, what?
Yes.
This person just played you for years, and now you're just like, well, could I have a hug? It's
I want to
like,
get something out of this.
it's so weird.
Oh my gosh, I was watching one yesterday that it's a completely different person, different name and everything. And they're like, well, what has been true? And this happens like 90% of the time. They're like, well, everything besides my name and how I look is true. And usually like they'll have been a big secret. Like they either had like cancer or have kids. And they'll be like, oh, well then do you have kids? Like, do you actually have cancer? And they're like, No. So besides that and my, the way I look and my name, everything else was true. And
Stuff I
they're
like to do.
yeah, and they'll always be like, I hope we can stay friends. Can we hug?
Yeah.
And they're like, no.
Yeah, no. The answer's always no. You
Yeah.
can't hug.
It's great. It's awful trash TV, but it's awesome.
Oh god.
What I don't want
That
to
was a
see
good one.
is
Needed it.
Below Deck.
Oh god.
I live with someone who constantly watches Below Deck, and it is awful.
Is that one of those fishing shows?
No, it's
It's a
the
yacht.
crew on a yacht, and it's
Oh,
the worst.
I saw a trailer for that.
Stay away.
And it's like, are they like dating each other and stuff?
Everyone
Like,
likes
looks
everyone,
bizarre.
and
I like the chef though. Not-
there's different chefs.
I know.
They-
I like that there is a chef, and
Oh.
they like show you like, oh, today we're gonna have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches cut into triangles.
I don't think it's ever that basic. But stay away from Below Deck. I highly recommend staying away from it. It's awful.
I thought it was a new show, but the way that it was like advertising on Hulu.
No, it's like somehow I've ended up seeing like 6 seasons. I don't know how.
It's like it's on right after Desperate Housewives or Real Housewives.
Yeah. It's
Which there are
terrible.
millions of those too. Yeah, I guess reality TV shows that are like on demand or
That falls into
An
the
option.
definite mindless.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a. I'm glad you brought one up.
That's like, I don't watch like the Kardashians, like any of those ones, but when it's stuff like this, that's
Yeah.
more of like a,
Cringeworthy.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
and
like you
like
can't look
something
away.
is happening to someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the awkwardness of it
Yeah.
really pulls you in. When the person is very like
Just like
weird.
no.
We got a weird one.
You're like, should we talk about something exciting that's coming out
Yes.
that we've been
Yes.
waiting to talk about? There was a commercial during the Super Bowl.
The big game.
Yeah.
We'll get sued.
Finally, we actually like just talked about these shows like on the last episode,
Yeah.
I think, saying nothing had come out yet, but there's a trailer for Falcon and oh my gosh. Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision and Loki. So I can play that
Let's do it
just
up.
to get us
Yes.
excited. I can't talk lately on this show.
It's time.
Wanda, welcome home.
Vision residents.
I'm gonna burn this place to the ground.
Definition of a teaser right
Yeah,
there.
seriously.
It
Such
had
a
like,
tease.
had like 8 lines.
Yeah. The one I would like to know more about is the WandaVision. Because I don't really know. So I know Vision was in the Avengers, and
He gone.
He gone. And then the girl, what's
Wanda.
Wanda?
Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch, yes.
Not yet though.
They didn't. Wait, in Avengers, she's Scarlet Witch.
Well, Sarah was saying, was it you? Saying that
Probably.
this scene, what's been said about this show is it might be all in her head,
Oh yeah.
and it turns her into Scarlet Witch, which makes her a bad guy, right? Or,
I didn't know about the last part.
oh, that wasn't you that said that?
I did say that it's all in her head. I heard
Oh.
that it was like all in her head.
So I guess I'm saying her whole story and like how she connected with Vision and like I don't know any of that.
Oh, that was kind of just
Was that in one of the
Avengers,
movies?
Age of Ultron. They meet because that's when Wanda and her brother show up.
Quicksilver.
Quicksilver, and then I think they
Age of Ultron is just a blur to me now. I gotta watch
they
it again.
fall in love at the end or something. At the beginning of Infinity War, they're like living together in like Germany or something, and so it's hinted on that they've started a relationship. Not hinted on, it
They
shows that
s-
they've started a relationship.
Okay.
I think that because she's a villain in Age of Ultron. And I think that in that movie or one after, Vision is like in charge of like basically like she's like a captor. She's like in prison, but it's really just like Tony's house or something, and I think Vision is like guarding
Captain
it.
America: Civil War, I think.
Yes. So I think that's how they like meet. They're like enemies at first, and he's just in charge of like watching
Yeah.
her, and then
In Civil War,
I do remember this.
there
vaguely.
it's the whole like Wakanda Accords, I
Yeah.
think. So they're like, that's when Tony and Cap fight,
right.
and all like everyone at the, and they like pretty much say she was created by the bad guys, so she needs to be on house arrest, and they're like, Vision, you're her babysitter basically.
Right, I remember that. Yeah.
And then that maybe at the end of that they leave or something. I don't really remember.
Huh. Well, anyways, that's good backstory. Thank you. This show, I'm thinking, will probably shed some more light on all of that, and thus, therefore, furthermore,
Yeah.
I'm excited for that one. The other two look good too.
Yeah, the Loki one, there was nothing other than a title and him. But
Yeah.
you were saying also, Sarah's the resident expert here, that Tom Hiddleston, what's his name? Hiddleston, wasn't supposed to be in it.
that's what everything said leading up to like this. Obviously, was that he wasn't in it, and like if anything, he would be like a voiceover for a younger Loki.
But he isn't.
So, yeah, clearly
Maybe-
he's in it.
Yeah, or maybe they're just showing him and he is going to be the voiceover. And
So are
like-
we thinking that that's like a Loki origin story type?
I heard, this is just like one rumor, that in Endgame when he takes
I've heard this
the
too.
stone
and
in
disappears.
one of the flashbacks when they go back, they think that this is like what happened in that timeline when he has a stone, which I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that they could do that because obviously like he's dead in the actual universe, so they could kind of do whatever they wanted with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in Falcon and Winter Soldier, Bucky is holding a gun to the guy that brainwashed him,
Yeah.
which is interesting.
Revenge plot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it looks good. It was such a teaser, and they don't come out till later. Like,
And
Yeah, I don't
Falcon
think-
had the shield,
yeah, Cap gave it
which
to him.
Cap gave to him at the end Endgame.
So that's the only one that, as far as we know, actually like follows the timeline.
Right, that
The last
is
thing we saw.
on the Avengers Endgame. This is the next thing
Mm-hmm.
timeline. Because even with Black Widow coming out,
That's a flashback.
that's a flashback because she's dead.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Hopefully you've seen all the Avenger movies.
Yeah.
The Infinity Saga.
And then I've said this before, I think, but WandaVision most likely will tie into Doctor Strange coming out because she's in that, and it's the multiverse for his movie. So I think that would go into how like she has this separate universe in her head where she's with Vision. So I guess technically that's also in the Endgame timeline if it's leading into the next movie, but it's probably like a standstill one if she's like in her head.
So do you guys think that these shows will like incorporate into, I know it's based off of like the same universe obviously, but do you think you'll have to watch one of these shows to like see the next movie type thing? Like do you think it'll be like big enough to matter, or it'll be like just a side story that like you see
I
it?
heard a
see
podcast.
it. Because like before this, if you had to watch all of the
It's a good question.
like Iron Man and this and the
I was
Civil War,
listening to something that said you do need to.
these are a part of
Yeah.
of
Well,
the-
because if WandaVision sets up Doctor Strange, I'm sure you could go into Doctor Strange, but there'd probably be references or something, or maybe she does go bad. I don't know.
I'd say there's probably still a chance that they could just be side stories, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm interested to see if like Falcon and Winter Soldier, if they just stick with that being a series, then they don't show up in movies anymore.
Yeah, that'll be interesting because that's kind of a big decision. I feel like
But it's a
up till this point they've been all pretty much huge blockbuster movies.
It's a great way to keep people subscribing to Disney Plus.
Yeah, that would be a really good like marketing strategy.
Sure.
Like, hey, we're gonna come out with a Falcon and Winter Soldier movie based off the first season. Like, it's gonna continue. So, I don't know,
Interesting.
but it seems like Falcon and Winter Soldier is the summer.
I think so. Yeah, I think that one is the earliest, and then
Oh, they're gonna come out at different times.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll connect to each other at all,
They could.
or in a succession.
I don't know.
And some are just I think
A lot of speculation here.
Yeah,
That's about all we got.
makes great podcasting.
I think it was WandaVision that they said is confirmed to just have one season. Like you were saying last time, like
So,
some of them shouldn't just be like a bunch of different seasons of WandaVision. It can be like one person's show leads into a movie, and now the next show that comes out will be a different character that
Right.
leads into another.
well, especially with that one because Vision's dead. So,
Get over it.
yeah, you gotta kind of. You can't just keep bringing them back. I'm sure the actor's like, I'll keep coming back for these Marvel
He's like,
paychecks,
"Sweet."
So I wonder, yeah, and well, Loki's dead too, so who knows?
Lives on in the
But if
spirit.
Loki is based off of him escaping with one of the stones, and WandaVision, she's tied into Doctor Strange, and if Doctor Strange sings about the multiverse, Loki might not be gone. So
Oh my gosh.
that's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot to think of.
This is like the Stranger Things conspiracies that
Yeah.
we talked about last time. They're like, we'll just be completely wrong.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Great.
So 2 episodes of Russian Doll for next time. And a new theme.
And avoid. Yeah. Oh yeah, we'll have to come up with a
Yeah.
theme.
Yeah, tune in next week to find out.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, fun. Good little teaser there.
See you next time.